Once upon a time I was a boy, just like you. I had dreams and plans, oh, just a few.
My main concern, after finding that the house was still standing, was our little dog. He was a tough little dog. Because we were in a butcher's shop, you would describe him as fit as a butcher's dog, and of course he really was. He lived outside all the time. He did have a kennel, but I don't think he hardly ever used it. You could see him in the snow and the rain, and outside the front of our butcher's shop, in place of the gardens that were in the houses next door, we had a concrete paved area, and this little dog would sit on the edge of this pavement, and he would attack any dog that even so much as looked like it was going to come into his territory. And he was only quite small, and I've seen him thrown in the air by bigger dogs and thrown to the ground, but he still stood his ground, and he was a great little dog. I don't know when we had him, but he just seemed to be like the rest of the family. He was always there, and he always followed you around. In the summertime, all of us boys, we spent a lot of time just swimming in a river which was many, many miles away, and he would run with us on our bicycles, and when he got fed up with doing that, he would disappear, but he was always at home when you got home. And so he was like most family pets. He was a great little dog, and so I was very concerned about him. I didn't know whether he'd been killed, whether he'd run away, and he certainly wasn't around. My dad whistled him, and he would always come to my dad's whistle, but he didn't appear. And I found him cowering in a corner at the back of what I suppose we would call a garage, really. It was open at one end and closed at the other, and I didn't know whether he was alive or dead, but he was alive and just terrified and shivering, and I picked him up. And I don't think he'd ever been picked up before. I certainly had never picked him up, and I was surprised how heavy he was. So we stood there with him shivering, and I suppose comforting each other. I felt around him, and he didn't seem to wince at any places that I touched, so I didn't think he was injured. And I suppose gradually the warmth passed between us, and you could describe us, I suppose, now as veterans. I think we were bombed again for the next 2 nights, and really that is, that is the end of the episode. So I'll close it there and see you all again soon. Until then, goodbye.